In Kansas City, we're ready for Arrowhead Armageddon. Missouri quarterback Chase Daniel, his Kansas counterpart Todd Reese.
Showtime, baby.
The game of the year is here. The roots of this rivalry date back to the 1850s, when the Kansas-Missouri border divided north from south. Time has healed that division, but the feelings still run deep. And what was a border war is now a football feud. Now they settle their differences on the gridiron. And never was there more at stake than in their meeting tonight. Take a good look at these teams. A surprise to some, but not to themselves. Never doubting this was their destiny, to be ranked so high this late in November with so much on the line. Like a trip to the Big 12 title game, and maybe the BCS championship down the road. Respect? They both have it, but that isn't their goal. It's to turn the numbers 2 and 4 before their names into a resounding number 1. Kansas and Missouri in prime time on Saturday Night Football. This border showdown is ready to erupt. It's Kansas against Missouri, and the stakes are enormous. The winner will capture the Big 12 North, advance to San Antonio for the championship game next week, and probably be number 1 in the BCS standings tomorrow. We welcome you to Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines. Let the top 5 in the BCS standings sink in. Already number 1 has lost. There's Kansas, West Virginia, big winner today, and there's Missouri. We welcome you to what certainly could be the game of the year. With Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brett Musburger. Folks, let this sink in. If either Kansas or Missouri wins their next 2 games, they will play for the national championship.
Let's let that sink in for the fans, because it's amazing to think in a year we've had so many upsets in college football, how fitting to have Kansas and Missouri controlling their own destiny, not only for a conference title, but to get to the national title. It's an amazing year.
And Kirk, we've got a great showdown between 2 fine young quarterbacks, Chase Daniel and Todd Reese.
Well, Brent, as you know, both these quarterbacks come into this game playing as well as any quarterbacks in the country, and the thing they have in common, a great deal of confidence in the system and the players around them. I want to see which defense is up to the task of trying to slow down one of those guys or both of those guys. I think we're going to see some points.
80,000 fans on hand here tonight. We're down into the 30s right now here in Kansas City. Snow flurries earlier today, but it stopped around noontime, and we're not expecting any more. Here's your timeline presented by Sports Authority. How big is this rivalry? 116th meeting, the second longest, and they cannot agree on the series record. We'll cover that story tonight. And the first meeting ever with both in the top 10, and both are in the top 5 here tonight. So Gary Pinkel won the toss and elected to take the football immediately. He wants to see if his sensational freshman, number 9, Jeremy Maclin, can get his hands on the ball. He wants to see right away what that man, Mark Mancino, his counterpart across the way, is going to do, what they're going to do with Maclin. Will they attempt to kick it over his head, sail it in, kick it high and short? Scott Webb. Ball will be put on the tee. The referee tonight is a good one. John Bible's Big 12 crew. One of the most electrifying freshmen of the country stands back on the goal line. Game on. From the 2. Maclin looks left out. He got one in the middle. 35, stumbles following his own blocker, and he's down at about the 37-yard line behind Earl Goldsmith. And so here comes young Mr. Chase Daniel, the junior from South Lake, Texas, Kirk.
Well, he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the country, Brent. Close to 70% of his passes. He engineers an offense that I think is the most explosive offense right now coming into this football game because of the amount of weapons he has on the outside. And this young man is playing with a ton of confidence coming into this game against Kansas.
It's a no-huddle spread. 5 wide to start the game. Daniel from the gun. Ran this offense in high school. Incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. So Kirk talked about Chase Daniels. We take a look at the starting lineups presented by Dell. We have mentioned Jeremy Maclin. You will see him as a running back and a wide receiver. Martin Rucker, one of their two very talented tight ends. Then in that offensive line, Kirk, the man in the middle, Adam Spiker, a 3-year starter.
And they're playing well. They understand what their assignment is. And as a unit, they're playing very, very well right now, Brent.
4 receivers on the right side. Daniel drops it off down below to Maclin, handling as a receiver for the first time. And this is going to be 3rd and long, is Talib. Aqib Talib, the best corner for the Jayhawks, makes the stop.
Bill Young has his defense coming out, playing with a lot of energy. I saw him on the field before the game, and he said, I don't even know why we're showing up tonight. All this talk about Missouri's offense, and he's been giving his team that message. Kind of poor-mouthing them to try to get them fired up, to try to take down Chase Daniel and this Tigers offense.
3rd and 8. 5 receivers out for Daniel. Jayhawks show blitz, trying to get to him, trying to rush him. He's got time. Goes deep but high, incomplete, and it's 3 and out for Mizzou. 3 and out, and they came with the blitz early.
Well, this is something you'll see throughout tonight from both teams, is mixing up the looks. The first couple snaps from Kansas, a conservative look. This time the blitz from Joe Mortensen, the outside linebacker, who just about gets to Daniel. But for these quarterbacks, you have to disrupt their timing in rhythm with their receivers.
Adam cross it back, and back is Anthony Webb to return the punt for the Jayhawks. Under a little bit of pressure that time. Fielded at the 29-yard line and breaks the first tackle, but not the second, and down at the 15-yard line. Jake Sharp, a terror on the special teams, getting down the field, and so too was Brock Christopher. So now, Kirk, we will take our first look at young Todd Reesing here.
Brent, you and I saw him just a few weeks ago in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. Everybody talks about how he's undersized, 5'10" or 5'11". Young man has not thrown an interception in 6 games. It gives you an idea how much rhythm that he has in this Kansas offense and the way they're playing.
He checks over at the sideline. They too go without a huddle. Trying to pass along the signal. This is one of the noisiest NFL venues in the country. Option play. McAnderson takes the pitch. Nothing doing. And our Dell Computer Kansas offense, Kirk mentioned. Young Reesing and Brandon McAnderson touches the ball, but keep an eye on number 86, Marcus Henry, exploded in Stillwater the night we had him. Anthony Collinskirk is back at left tackle tonight.
He's the leader up front. He missed the Iowa State game a week ago. I think more than anything, just trying to rest him to get ready for Missouri. He's the leader. He'll have to play well at left tackle. You'll see this a lot from Kansas, looking over to get the call.
First pass is juggled, incomplete. The linesman right there. Dexton Fields was the intended receiver. He's the junior from Dallas.
You gotta remember, these teams are in uncharted waters as far as the excitement that build up in this game. And anytime you have so much pressure on these teams, it's not shocking to see a little bit of nerves. They need to work that out here in these first couple of series. Let's see how Kansas does now on 3rd down.
3 receivers and a tight end on the left side next to the tackle. Reesing throws back in underneath to Dexton Fields, and he's short of the first down. So here comes the punt team, and it's 3 and out for the Jayhawks.
Again, nice to see these defenses. They've heard all week about the 2 quarterbacks, and this time in the first series for both defenses, they step up and force the 3 and out.
So here comes young Maclin. He's caught a pass, and he's returned the kickoff. Let's see what Kyle Tucker can come up with. Field position going to be huge in this game. Maclin signals fair catch at the 37-yard line. Underway in Kansas City, a neutral site, a Kansas home game for the championship Big 12 North. The border war, Missouri and Kansas. Lawrence, of course, the closest to Kansas City, and as a result, Mark Mangino took his team back to Lawrence after the walkthrough yesterday, and then today they drove the 50 miles. There was one problem, an enormous traffic jam outside of Arrowhead. The team was 20 minutes late in arriving here at the stadium.
You got caught up in that, didn't you?
Yeah, sure. First down and 10. So did Carl Peterson, the general manager of the Chiefs. And a handoff on the first down to the running back, Tony Temple. Temple picks up about 5 yards in our Kansas defense here tonight. And in that front, James McClinton is a candidate for all Big 12 honors. And the linebacker Joe Mortensen and Mike Rivera have been standouts. In the secondary, we've already talked about Aqib Talib. He is the junior. He's the shutdown. He'll be keeping an eye out for number 9. And Daniel has much better protection this time and fires for the first down. Alexander.
This is more like Chase Daniel getting into rhythm. The game's now, he's probably starting to settle down. A lot of attention being paid to Maclin as he comes in motion and he goes behind Chase Daniel, and it opens it up very nicely right in the middle of that defense to a very talented receiver in Alexander.
Ready to go from near midfield. Temple again, and Temple gashes again. Run out of bounds on that far sideline, but not until he crosses the 30-yard line for a 22-yard gain.
Well, when Tony Temple is in this game, he's not only physical, he has patience like all great backs have. And this is a good job by the offensive line of getting the Kansas defense on their heels and pushing them to the sideline. And it opened it up for Tony Temple to shoot through there. And all of a sudden, Missouri's offense starting to create that momentum.
Daniel comes back to the right side. Saunders, short of the goal line, put it on the ground. Ball was down. And they signal right away that Missouri recovered. And they'll have a first and goal.
So many weapons for Missouri. And what we're seeing is Maclin is definitely being used in a variety of ways. Saunders comes through, makes a play, is down, and then the football comes out. And regardless, Missouri recovered the fumble anyway. But remember the tight ends and the size advantage at 6'6" against this Kansas defense.
Daniel looking for one right now. Gonna have to drop it in underneath to Temple. The running back goes for the end zone, reaches for it, and down at the 1. The field judge right there says he's down at the 1. Talib making the stop.
Great coverage here by Kansas, but how about the poise by Chase Daniel? Buying time, and then eventually he finds Temple, and there's the tough physical running again from Tony Temple. He almost gets it into the end zone.
Saunders made a key block on that play. So here's a 4th and goal coming up. No hesitation, Mizzou going for it here on 4th and goal. Diving end zone, touchdown Missouri. Martin Rucker, number 82, scores the evening's first touchdown. Jeff Wolpert tacks on the extra point. 82 consecutive combined kicks now for Wolford. A touchdown on 4th and goal. Chase Daniel, reason to celebrate, young man. Missouri strikes first, and Kansas trails for just the 7th time this year. And the last 5 times, Kirk, that they've been behind, and we were there once, they've come back to score on the next possession each of the last 5 times. Now, there's a great return man on the Kansas side who will touch it for the first time, and that is Marcus Herford. Wolford with the ball on the tee. They're going to kick it short and high. They're going to pooch it to the 30-yard line, and Kansas will have it at about the 35. So advantage early to Mizzou's defense. They collapse the pocket. McAnderson, the running back, but that's only for about a yard. So again, Kirk, advantage Tiger D.
Well, right now we're seeing Missouri. They are not intimidated by Todd Reesing. They're coming into this game and they're saying the last time a defense pressured Kansas was Kansas State about 7 games ago. And Kansas State created turnovers against Reesing, and they came in tonight to go after Reesing and make him prove that he and his offense can make the plays.
Into the first quarter, and ESPN Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. It was the late Lamar Hunt's dream to bring these two schools together to play here in Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. 80,000 on hand. This is the first of a 2-year contract. Next year, it is a home game for Missouri. Each school tonight guaranteed $1 million by the Chiefs. 7-0. Missouri leads it as we start the second quarter. Young Reesing going deep downfield. Got it to the 25-yard line. He finds Kerry Meyer, last year's quarterback, and now a wide receiver for 40 yards.
This is exactly what Kansas needed to do to get Todd Reesing and his offense going. I continue to talk about Missouri attacking a blitz again. Safety comes down, Del Howard, and replacing behind him is Kerry Meyer, who the former quarterback shows great hands. Nice throw that time by Reesing. We'll see if this gets him going into rhythm.
Play fake McAnderson, end zone, picked off, intercepted by Moore. His 7th interception of the season. The All-American safety does what he's been doing all year since the injury sustained by Pete Brown. He snuffs out a Kansas scoring drive.
Brent, William Moore proving week after week that he's a ball hawk. Missouri not slowing down. They're still coming after Todd Reesing despite the big play by Meyer. And for good reason. William Moore, one-on-one coverage, steps underneath Dexton Fields and shows tremendous athletic ability to be able to make that catch.
There's a lot of difference in field position, Kirk. Whoa, 18 yards here.
And so far the field position has favored Missouri in the first quarter.
Chase Daniel brings the offense out. Temple is the running back, number 22. Rucker, who scored the touchdown, is out on the field. Let's see if they show a more traditional formation than they do. Cut down on the line, splits, bring Temple up behind in a traditional I formation. Run behind the offensive line, and Temple gets to the left side. Picks up a big first down and gains little field position in the process with that fine run.
Boy, Kansas, you have 9 defenders. 9 defenders up in this boxed area. You know Missouri's going to run the football. You got to expect that he's going to bounce that to the outside. A poor angle that time by the safety, Stuckey, allowed Missouri and Temple to get the ball to the outside, and all of a sudden they've got better field position.
Temple has rushed Kirk for 58 yards. And they bring his backup, Jimmy Jackson, in, and they are gashing this Kansas defense with the run here tonight. If it's not Temple, it is Jackson reeling off big yards.
The line right now for Missouri setting the tone. This time it's Madison Llewellyn pulling around from the left side on a counter and opening it up for Jimmy Jackson. And Jackson, much like Temple, showing great patience before exploding through the hole. And just like that, Missouri's at the 36-yard line after 2 run plays.
He gets the handoff, and he's found daylight over on that left side. Battling for 3 or 4 more yards before Stuckey's able to get him out of bounds.
The reason this complements Chase Daniel like any quarterback so well, because right now the safety's Stuckey just had a great look at Justin Thornton. These safeties now are starting to come down and have to be in run support, and that's where Chase Daniel and Missouri will then try to take advantage of that and attack you down the middle of the field, throwing the football to his tight ends.
Second down and 11. 5 receivers. Here comes the blitz. Daniel fires quickly to the outside. Got the first down as he put it in Alexander's hands again. Alexander has been a factor here tonight to lead the defender.
Denario Alexander a lot of times gets overlooked because of Jeremy Maclin and William Franklin. But if you spend too much time on the tight ends and Maclin and Franklin, this gives you an indication of the depth that Missouri has. And Alexander, a tremendous athlete at 6'5". They say he has a 46-inch vertical.
On first down, here comes Maclin on that end around. Picking up about 9 yards. And here at 7-0, Missouri leading unbeaten Kansas. 12:54 first half, and complete for another first down, and that's their other very talented tight end, Chase Kaufman.
Their tight ends came into this game number 1 and number 3 as far as receptions on the season. And Rutgers already 70 receptions coming in. He already scored a touchdown. Chase Kaufman, and both these guys are 6'6". What a mismatch against any defense that they ever would go up against.
Jackson continues as the running back. Here comes a blitz. They blitzed it perfectly. Down at the 45-yard line, James McClinton has had 11.5 tackles for a loss. Now, there are your 2 talented tight ends.
Yeah, Rucker and Kaufman both come into this game having not only brilliant seasons, they've had wonderful careers in Columbia. And the one thing that I've noticed is watching Kansas, they're aware of those tight ends, but they're being attacked in so many different areas, it's hard to lock in one spot to stop Missouri.
Here's your second down and 17. Flanker screen to Franklin, and he's down at the 40-yard line, not even back at the original line of scrimmage. And this will bring up about a 3rd and 12 here. And John Larson, makes the stop for the Jayhawks.
This gives you a chance, but it's not a guarantee against Chase Daniel. You get him to 3rd and 12, and all of a sudden, you have a couple choices. Bring the pressure or drop 7 or 8 back into coverage. Bill Young has shown most of this season on 3rd down to bring pressure with linebackers.
Derek Washington checks in for Mizzou. Maclin returns. Daniel looking downfield, throws to Franklin. Broken up. 4th down on a jarring hit in the secondary. Darrell Stuckey.
I think Chase Daniel was surprised because Franklin had Talib beaten to the middle of the field, but Stuckey waiting for him right there and lowers the boom on Jeremy Maclin.
However, the flag is for holding, and that's an automatic first down. So it would have brought up a 4th down, but defensive holding called on the play. And this will give the Tigers a first down at the 30-yard line. So all season, the Jayhawks, under Mangino, avoid the costly penalties. But here tonight, this one hurts. Here's a blitz again. Temple to the right side this time. And it'll be 2nd down and long. Bill Young's defense seems to be answering the call. They'd be in good shape except for that holding, Kurt.
Yeah, the holding call really hurt them. The timing of it, Mark Mangino has got to just be going crazy right now. But it's kind of been a mixed bag on this drive alone for Kansas and their defense. Times they've been able to shoot through some gaps and slow down the running game, and other times they've been gashed, giving up some big plays.
2nd and 10 for Daniels. First down. And loose again is Alexander to the 10-yard line. Alexander, 4 catches for 60 yards so far.
Martin Rucker's going to come from your right to your left. You see how number 8 Mortensen goes with him? When Mortensen followed Rucker, it opened up a huge spot right behind where Mortensen was lined up, and an easy throw that time for Chase Daniel.
And it's 1st and goal for the Tigers, who lead it by 7. Daniel hands it off to Temple. He loses about a yard on the play, and James Holt, the linebacker, makes the stop. Remember, this drive started back at the Mizzou 2-yard line after the interception. Kansas threatening to score. They got the ball on the 2, and now they have driven down. It is 2nd and goal coming up for Daniel.
I think a matchup that Chase Daniel might look to at the bottom of the screen. He's got one of his favorite targets, William Franklin, lined up against true freshman Chris Harris.
Daniel on the move, has to throw it away. It's going to be 3rd down and goal.
The Missouri coaches will tell you that we welcome the blitz. I said, you get into a lot of empty. You've got 5 offensive linemen. If somebody brings 6, what do? They say, we welcome that. We want somebody to bring 6 because we've got a quarterback that makes such quick decisions that we're going to abuse them with that blitz and make them get out of it. That time, Kansas got there and forced Daniel to throw it away. Empty again.
3-man rush. Daniel still looking for somebody open. Retreats. On the move. Complete. Alexander scores. A play that took a half-dozen seconds to unfold, it seemed. And Chase Daniel strikes again. His 2nd touchdown pass of the night.
Well, Chase Daniel has tremendous mobility and presence in the pocket. He realizes there's only 3 defenders chasing him down. He's got the speed to get away from Larson, buys enough time. And I'll tell you, I know that Kansas had 8 defenders in coverage, but it's tough that long to cover that many receivers. 5 receivers on the pattern, and Alexander works well that time with Chase Daniel.
Jeff Wolford makes it a 14-point lead for the underdog. So Alexander scores and Mizzou leads it. We are back. 9:21 to go in the first half. Unbeaten Kansas trails once beaten Missouri by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. And the last time that Missouri kicked off, as Alexander scored their 2nd touchdown, but the last time they kicked off, they stayed away from Hereford. They kicked it high and short with a pooch kickoff, which would seem to be the strategy. Hereford is back on the 4-yard line, one of the nation's leading kickoff return men. And we'll see if Missouri continues to kick it short here. They do exactly that. Yep. Fielded at the 23-yard line. And that'll be where young Reesing after McAnderson fielded. First down at 10 here. 2:52. Todd Reesing. Kansas trying to mount something here. Down a couple touchdowns. Got a man open. Got him in center field to the 30-yard line.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer on top of it.
15 added to the end of the run. First down.
Shulock added on the 15 after Fields made the catch.
Well, Fields makes the catch, and again, look at the linebackers. Look at the safeties coming up. They're trying to attack Kansas, and Kansas is finally getting the ball downfield. Gives you an idea of the toughness of Reesing. He blocks that completely out, makes the throw, and then takes the hit right in the face that time by Shulock.
The Jayhawks are in the red zone now, and let's see what they can do. Trailing by 2 touchdowns. They'll start at the 17. Checking over to the sideline. Deflected. Incomplete. And again, pressure from that defensive front. Hood, Chavis, Williams, and Shulock bringing the heat.
Well, the knock on Reesing is his size. He's listed at 5'11". I was on the field. I think he's about 5'9". And the one thing they try to do is get hands up in the face. Ed Warner, offensive coordinator, in the top left. Assistant coaches down the top right. Quarterback Todd Reesing looking to the side. Most often he'll wait, look into the defense, and then look over and see if he does this time. Now Ed Warner will communicate what he wants. And then see the assistants make the sign, and then Reesing goes. They take everything out of the hands of Todd Reesing.
High and incomplete. Briscoe was open, and Todd threw a little high on that play.
The whole philosophy there, Brent, as you know, is about trying to allow Reesing just to focus on executing. Seeing this has become a big trend in college football throughout the country. The offensive coordinator from upstairs makes the initial call. Quarterback will communicate that up to the offensive line and to the rest of the team, and then if they like it, they'll go. Otherwise, they'll look over and try to get the audible. Again, Warner makes the call, gives it to the assistants. Couple decoys, one's live. He makes the adjustments, and away they go.
Pump fake and in trouble. Fumble! Kansas saves it. Pouncing on it was Adrian Mays. He recovered the fumble. Saved the moment for Mangino's Jayhawks as Shulock was in on top. Watch him come around, jar the ball loose.
Nice job, and there's the effort that it takes to be able to bring down Todd Reesing. The coverage is there, but the relentless pass rush from the Missouri Tiger front gets to him.
So Scott Webb will try it again. Hit the right upright on his last field goal attempt. This one a little longer, 44-yarder. Jayhawks attempted to get on the board here in the first half. Pulled it to the left. Misfired again. He's 0 for 2. Missouri dominated the first half here. 272 yards of offense to 139. And let's go down to Lisa.
Thanks, Brent. Coach Mangino, tough getting points on the board. What adjustments do you have to make to get your offense going?
Well, you know, our offense is making some plays. Get down here in the red zone and we're not getting any points. And that's hurt us on offense. We had a turnover here at the 2-yard line and missed 2 field goals. So we got to make the most of our red zone opportunities.
3rd and 18. They had 3rd and 18. You had about 40-something seconds on the clock. You chose not to call any timeouts. Why did you want to just get to the locker room?
Well, we had 2:52 to go here. We're in 2-minute offense. We missed the field goal here.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Brent?
Yeah, I'm not sure that the Big Bear understood that last question, but at any rate, we'll send it to New York. To John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie for the Capital One halftime report. Take it away, Big John. We welcome you back to Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines. Missouri dominated the first half. They lead the Kansas Jayhawks because of these miscues. An interception, a couple of missed field goals, and a penalty for 10 yards. But as Chris Fowler mentioned, the Manginos get the ball to start the second half. Now, so far, Hereford has been taken out of it because Missouri has elected to pooch kickoff here and keep it out of the ace return man's hands. And I would assume, Kirk, that they will continue that strategy here at the start of the second half.
I mean, it's worked out okay for Kansas. Hereford's not getting his hands on the ball, but McAnderson, the running back, who's back there along with Hereford, has come up and made a few catches and given them reasonable field position last 2 times.
But Hereford, he can take it to house.
Sure.
This one along the ground and picked off, and they give up real good field position this time near midfield. So this is an opportunity here.
You know, and sometimes this is a great case of sometimes being so concerned about a return man, you make an adjustment, and all of a sudden now you're starting to get close to midfield. But the one thing that I've seen in this first half is Todd Reesing slowly start to figure out Missouri's pressure. Missouri is coming after him. Unlike he's seen anything all year, it's going to be up to Kansas to give him chances to move him around in that pocket because Missouri's batting the ball down in many cases with the pressure up front.
They toss on the first down. And there is the big running back, McAnderson, powering ahead. Is KU's best starting field position of the night. And our Southwest Airlines play. This is a huge play here.
This is right after a big play by Todd Reesing to set up. It looked like a potential touchdown interception by William Moore. And then the last 2 times Kansas had the ball, field goal opportunities, and both missed by Scott Webb.
3rd and 3, throwing for the first down. Does just that. There's a penalty flag on it. Fine is the receiver.
Personal foul, face mask, number 21 on the defense.
That is
15-yard penalty, first down.
So Bridges incurs the penalty. And again, Kansas has an opportunity, but can they finish?
I saw Briscoe and Bridges lock up, and I couldn't tell if it was an attempted pick by Kansas right in the just to the left there. Oh, without question, Bridges gets up into the face, and Brent, you're exactly right. Kansas gets the ball to start the second half, take advantage of a poor kickoff, and now deep into Missouri territory. If they want to win this game, they've got to capitalize on this drive.
Reesing straight back, throws middle. Intercepted on the deflection. Here's Bridges. And Bridges takes it into Kansas territory.
Todd Reesing, by just not being accurate on this throw, throws it behind Henry and high. When Henry got a hand on it, Missouri's Bridges is there, and how fitting for Bridges after the personal foul. He comes up to make a dazzling interception and a big return.
That's the second interception thrown by Todd Reesing, who came in with only 4 overall, and tonight he's thrown a pair. So the Missouri defense continues to dominate. And Temple breaks for about 7 yards on 1st and 10. And Reesing on the telephone with the coaches upstairs.
He's talking with Ed Warner, his offensive coordinator. And it'll be interesting to see how Todd Reesing, who's had such a flawless season, is able to bounce back and not worry about the mistakes that he and this offense have made. But they're putting their own defense under the microscope and putting a lot of pressure right now on the Jayhawk defense.
Here's that spread attack orchestrated by Chase Daniel, and this time they go to Derek Washington. Washington across the yellow first down line.
You heard Desmond Howard at halftime mention this. I talked about it in the first half. Kansas has held Missouri and Chase Daniel to 14 points, but this is not good tackling. If you get there, John Larson, and you get there, James Holt, you've got to wrap up this Missouri team. They're here to play tonight.
Field is spread all the way across. Throw it underneath for about 7 yards, putting it in the hands of Tommy Saunders, and we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary. And as you would expect, look at that rushing total for the Jayhawks, only 21 yards.
21 yards, and you're looking at an offense for Kansas that's come in tonight averaging 500 yards of total offense, 7th in the nation, and 46 points a game, and there's a goose egg up on the board.
Second down and 3. Temple picking up the first 10, and he's out of bounds close to the 10-yard line.
Been really impressed with this Missouri offensive line and Gary Pinkel's ability to mix up the play calling to keep Kansas off balance. I know that Chase Daniel gets most of the accolades, makes so many dazzling plays, but this offensive line is giving them some great balance. And look at this, Rucker, the tight end, going to take a snap.
Shades of McFadden tucks it down, and he's lit up at the line of scrimmage. Hit hard by Mortensen and Holt, 2 of the linebackers.
There's only one here, McFadden.
I think so.
I mean, he's 6'6". Gives a little fake. I don't know who that faked out, but 6'6", 255, taking a direct snap. Only one thing the big fella's going to do.
His brother, Mike Rucker, a defensive end for Carolina, he winced on that play. Daniel, again moving around the pocket, completing the throw to Franklin. 1st and 10, reaching for the end zone, and down right there. Fine play by Will Franklin.
Chase Daniel comes off his primary, starts to scramble to buy time, and William Franklin, again, the Tigers showing a tenacious attitude, fighting for that second and third effort, and that time Franklin almost takes it into the end zone.
You know, Lee Corso at halftime talked about Chase Daniel's mobility on that second touchdown, and that time again, Chase was rolling hard to the right, buying time back there in the backfield. and they bang it across with Jimmy Jackson. They've got a 3-touchdown advantage now, Kirk. It's all uphill for the Jayhawks.
They are in a position that they've never seen all year, playing a better team than they have seen all year, and all of a sudden Todd Reesing has to shake the cobwebs, forget about everything that has happened. 10.5 minutes to go still in the third quarter. Plenty of time for him, if he can get things going, try to get this offense in sync.
Jeff Wolpert adds the extra point. So the junior quarterback from Southlake, Texas. Coaches opened up an envelope from the Heisman folks saying, stay tuned, you may be invited to New York. 21-0. The Kansas Jayhawks facing their biggest deficit of the season. Their largest earlier, only 7 points. And it had been 2 costly interceptions here, Kirk. And on both occasions, Missouri has driven for touchdowns. One of them 98 yards in the first half.
Right now you have the feeling that Kansas is shell-shocked. It's almost like they don't know what has hit them. Keep in mind, the last 3 times they've had the football, they've had success moving down the field, only to miss their field goals, and then that last series, they threw the interception.
Back to the pooch punt. On one hop, fielded, and they will start this time at about the 34 as Brandon McAnderson picks it up. And Marcus Henry's been quiet. The only time they've gone to him, pass interference was called. Here comes McAnderson. And he battles across midfield, put it down on the ground, so hang on. Missouri claims they've got another turnover here. Let's let the officials sort this out. Kansas football.
Running play this time going right after Missouri, not bouncing it slowly to the outside, going right at them, and the ball came out once he was down. It's a good call.
2nd down and 4. And Reesing moves over to the right this time and completes it. So he moved the pocket a little bit that time to the right, found some daylight, and his tight end fine.
Moving him around, taking advantage of his athletic ability, and taking advantage of an overly aggressive Missouri defense. Keep saying it. Which of these receivers can get away from the man-to-man coverage and give themselves a chance to execute and make it easier on Todd Reesing? That time the tight end was there for Reesing.
Straight back. Going deep. Diving reception. A beautiful catch by Desmond Briscoe. There's a flag down. Hang on. Back at the line of scrimmage. It's coming.
Defense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
Well, Brent, Justin Garrett, who was in coverage and actually trying to slow down Desmond Briscoe, got caught looking downfield, and once he realized that the ball's in the air, he's trying to catch up to him. He pulled onto the jersey of Briscoe, but finally Reesing just enough time. The offensive line helped him, delivered a football, and what a catch by the freshman.
That's a 34-yard gain. They're at the Missouri 5. Here comes the blitz. McAnderson can't get away from it. William Moore, who's had one big interception tonight. There's Moore, number 1, has stepped into that secondary. And you will see his name somewhere in the all Big Ten lineup next weekend, I'm sure.
William Moore will always be up in the line of scrimmage, Brent. Got to beat man-to-man coverage for Kansas.
Reesing on an option, going to keep it, bang toward the end zone. He's a yard short.
One of the best calls against man, especially down inside his 10-yard line, is an option call. Kansas trying to get to the outside, trying to give the quarterback a chance to pitch it, but give Missouri credit. Even though they're in man coverage, they strung the option out and held him short of the end zone. This is a must score for Kansas.
3rd and goal. Jumbo look, McAnderson. Touchdown, Kansas. The Jayhawk fans with something to cheer, finally.
those slow snap counts. This time they went with the hurry up with their jumbo look. And it opened it up very nicely for Brandon McAnderson.
Webb adds the extra point. And it was a brilliant catch by Desmond Briscoe. Diving reception. And McAnderson battling his way in, and the Jayhawks are finally on the board. The 116th border war. Missouri claims they're dead even, 53-53 with 9 ties. Kansas said, we won in 1960, not you. 54-52 and 9. Real count. And now with the Jayhawks on the scoreboard here, Kirk, you're saying they need a defensive stop. Well, Macklin is back deep. He's saying we need a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, he is. But, you know, the stadium's starting to come alive. You're seeing some of the blue and red. You really felt that Kansas needed to get that score to have a reason to believe. And they've got their crowd now back into the game, and their defense jumping up and down on the sideline.
Then they're going to kick it to Macklin, the sensational freshman, slowly to the 20. He's out to the 31-yard line. All right, and here, of course, it is 21-7 that. Missouri had a 21-point lead. The Jayhawk fans have something to cheer about here. Young Daniel rolls hard to the right. 9-yard gain. Getting back in the hands of one of his talented tight ends over there. So Mr. Rucker makes that catch.
Brent, they love to stretch. The Missouri offense wants to stretch you horizontally, and they want to stretch you vertically and see how you respond to having to defend in space. That time a good read and an easy read for Chase Daniel.
Jason Ray, one of the wideouts. Temple, 1st and 10. He has been a pest as far as the Kansas defense is concerned here tonight. 98 yards. He's going for a 100-yard night here, Kirk.
Well, the thing that allows him to find the seams is that the Missouri splits are so wide. And the reason is twofold. They're trying to push that defensive line out further and further from Chase Daniel and also create running lanes.
Pass is complete. And that is Jared Perry's first catch of the night. I want to take you back on the schedule that Missouri played this year. This is impressive. No one knew that Illinois was going to become that good, and that was a shootout in St. Louis. And Kurt, you were on the sideline against Oklahoma, and you said that except for the turnovers, they should have won that game.
Well, Missouri was in a position to have a chance to win. They actually had the lead in the 4th quarter in Norman and then self-destructed a bit with some turnovers.
Here comes the blitz. Stands tall and delivers complete. To the 23-yard line goes Alexander, who has had a big night. That's 17 more yards, and that's an 87-yard night on 6 catches for Alexander and 1 big touchdown.
Well, Brent, Chase Daniel has that linebacker mentality. They brought the blitz. He sits in there very patiently, reads the defense, and puts a strike right into the arms of the receiver.
Pulling lineman, stands, comes, delivers, short of the end zone, and a first down. Alexander again. Oh, Alexander wanted his second touchdown, didn't he?
Well, he came close, and Alexander a lot of times is a forgotten man because of the other weapons, but it's just another example of how Missouri will attack you in different phases. Chase Daniel right now in the locker room, or in the huddle, yelling at the offensive line, trying to fire them up to get them ready to score right here on this drive.
We're going to give it a pistol look with Jimmy Jackson, the tailback, right behind him. They'll hand to him, picks his way, and he's going to be short. So this is going to be a 3rd down coming up. John Larson,
the ball carrier.
2 very talented defensive ends who are outstanding students at Kansas, playing well up front tonight for the Jayhawks, who have their hands full with this Missouri team, as will anybody who plays them, whether it's Oklahoma or whoever they should happen to meet in a bowl game. This is a very good-looking Missouri football team. Washington now in. Going to throw the swing to him. Can he get the daylight? Touchdown. So Washington had just checked into the game, brought the swing pass call with him. Missouri goes back on top by 3 touchdowns, and the Jayhawk fans are quiet again.
Washington is their more powerful running back that they have. Even a little bit more powerful than Tony Temple, if you can believe it. And once he made the catch, running downhill, it was an easy touchdown for the Tigers.
Wolford nails the extra point. So Washington's first touchdown reception of his career, and it came in a huge game. And the news is not good for the Jayhawks, folks, when you take a look at what Chase Daniel has done in the 4th quarter this year, okay? A rating of 194.56. He's completed 37 of 42 for 399 yards. Unbelievable, and that's just in the 4th quarter. The bouncing kickoff fielded on the 25, out to the 35, and downfield, complete for a 1st and 10 to the 41-yard line. So Reese makes one of his better throws to Dexton Fields.
Dexton Fields last week had a huge game with 11 receptions, and in this football game tonight, he's been the go-to guy for Todd Reesing. 6 catches again. I agree with you. I think Marcus Henry's got to get on track here and try to be able to beat some coverage and get downfield for Reesing to be able to throw the football.
Fake. Reesing fires on a one-hopper, incomplete, and it will be 2nd down and 10.
He was looking Henry's way. One thing that is an advantage for teams that run these types of offense is their base offense is basically a 2-minute offense. So Kansas, the one thing they're going to have to do is just pick up the pace. It's a no huddle, but you got to pick up the pace once the clock is started.
Second and 10. Deflected, incomplete. Incomplete. Bible's right on top of it. Arm was coming forward on the play. Ziggy Hood applying the heat that time.
Missouri's defense has done as good a job as we have seen this year at getting after Todd Reesing and keeping him in the pocket. He's an undersized quarterback that would love to break contain, but Missouri is keeping him in the pocket, and you can see how uncomfortable he is when he is contained.
Third and 10 for the Jayhawks. Here comes an all-out blitz. Nobody there, but he's short because Bridges read the run as he came up. But had he been able to find a receiver on that all-out blitz, they might have struck gold on that play. I mean, everybody was coming.
Zero coverage, man-to-man, nobody in the middle of the field for Missouri's defense. It's a high-risk, high-reward type of defense, and Reesing had to scramble.
Final seconds, last play here. They're not going to get it off. We'll go to the 4th quarter. And ESPN Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Missouri 15 minutes away from a rematch with Oklahoma for the Big 12 title. A Missouri fan taking it.
We're shot there.
Here we go, folks. Big 4th down as we start the 4th quarter. Kansas down by 3 touchdowns, 28-7. And here's your 4th and 3 for Todd Reesing and the Jayhawks. Nobody open. Got it. A creative play with Marcus Henry finally coming up with his first catch of the night.
We've been waiting for Marcus Henry, but Missouri, they've shown blitz. They've shown pressure almost every 3rd down, and it confused Todd Reesing because they only rushed 3 and dropped 8, and he threw it just over the head of a defender right to Henry.
Here is Meyer with his 2nd catch, battling to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
This is not helping Kansas and what they're trying to do. These passes to the sideline, and I know you want to try to outflank the defense, this time throwing it to Meyer, try to pick up a block, but Missouri, again, is attacking downfield. You have to throw the football right into the teeth of that defense. Throw it downfield.
On second down. Middle. Got 9 yards with Briscoe.
Briscoe has really matured this year for this offense as a true freshman. So much more confident now. 7 touchdowns on the year. These last 4 weeks, you can just see what a bright future that Briscoe has, not only down the road, but as I said, this year, he is a different football player.
Third and 2, blitz Reesing. Shakes it and throws it high and complete. Henry, the receiver. Terrell was the defensive back with him in the back of the end zone, Kurt.
The battle up front the entire game has been won by Missouri. Ziggy Hood fighting through there. They had a nice blitz, but I'm going to tell you, Brent, Oklahoma's going to watch this game, and they're going to look at this Missouri defense. This is a different defense tonight that I'm watching than the way they played earlier this year when they went up against Oklahoma.
So what they do here on 4th and 2, Reesing's going to keep it. Got the 1st and 10, end zone, touchdown, Kansas. Tough run by the little fella.
Steve Redmond, 18, comes down, loses contain, and gives Reesing a chance, even with a gimp ankle, to try to get to the corner, and he just makes it before Sean Witherspoon chases him down. And Brent, you're right, he showed some toughness there to get it in.
Wood slides the extra point over to the right. Kyle Tucker, the punter, is the holder. He got it down, and you're watching ESPN on ABC. Jeremy Maclin back deep now. And this time they will try to keep it away. He runs up on it, on the run, bobbles it at the 25-yard line, battling to get free on the outside, and he makes it to the 31-yard line. A little excitement there, and he comes with a 1st and 10. He's at the 44-yard line, checking over at the sideline. Here's Temple, drunk down from behind by Russell Bronson. Well, Kurt, there's what we have been talking about.
Yeah, he comes into this game, and not to mention what he's done tonight in the 3rd quarter. As the game goes on, Chase Daniel becomes more in command and understanding of what the defense is trying to do to stop his offense. And right now, Missouri is attacking Kansas. Kansas comes in tonight 3rd in the nation in creating turnovers, and tonight they haven't created one. To get back into this game, this defense will have to make a play.
From Southlake, Texas. Daniel swings it to the outside, and Maclin with his speed moving toward that 1st down marker. They're going to give it to him. So the chains move again.
There are just so many game breakers in this offense with Maclin, Alexander, Franklin, Perry, the big tight ends of Rucker and Kaufman, Temple out of the backfield, Jackson, Washington in the backfield, and you throw in a quarterback who's making great decisions with all of that versatility. It's no wonder this offense is so tough to stop.
Here comes Temple, spinning and down. I said, you know, of all the scores this year, I can't believe that you held Texas Tech to 10 points. And he said, in truth, it wasn't just the defense. We went on long, sustained drives, and we kept the ball away from the Red Raiders. They didn't have a chance to strike it. And that's what strikes me about this particular drive, is that Missouri's coming down methodically, bringing the clock down, leading by 14 here.
Here's again, underneath the coverage. They're going to continue to take those chances if Kansas will give it to them. But that's a great point because it's a combination of things. Missouri's offense, eating up clock, keeping the ball away from a potent offense, and also being aggressive on defense. Twice now. Go back to the Texas Tech game when they played against them. They were aggressive against Mike Leach. They had 3 sacks. They held them to 10 points. They had 4 interceptions. They challenged them up in their face. It's the exact same blueprint tonight against Todd Reesing and this Jayhawks offense.
They're down in 6 for Daniel. Closing in, and he still gets it off, and it'll be 4th down coming up. And the intended target. Larson was applying a little bit of heat.
14-point lead. Chase Daniel frustrated because he didn't score, but a great decision just to back off and throw that football away. No need to take a risk.
Jeff Wolford comes in, and you wouldn't think they'd even consider their second fake field goal of the day here. Leading by 14, 10 minutes to go. It's a 43-yarder. They've got a good leg. 10 of 10 in Big 12 competition. Make it 11 of 11. So not only do they have a smooth offense and a tough defense, they've got a talented kicker. That helps. Well, Lamar Hunt thought this would be a good idea, and folks, it's a great idea. Second largest Arrowhead Stadium crowd since 1972, and the Raiders are here, and they will play the Chiefs in this stadium. The crew tonight will work throughout the night to turn this field around and play an NFL game starting at noon tomorrow. And the Chiefs have got a long winning streak working against the Raiders right now. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Here's that high kickoff. Herford comes up to field it at the 21-yard line for the Jayhawks. Jayhawks have to move now. Herford is out of bounds, and let's go down to Lisa.
Well, Brent, you said it. It's going to be a quick turnaround. I spoke to Stadium's operations folks during the week, and they said about 200 to 250 crew people will come in here. They're all waiting in the tunnel right now, waiting for the buzzer to go. I guess you don't really have a buzzer in football, do you? But anyway, they're waiting to come in here. They're going to sweep up the field, repaint it to put the Chiefs markings on there, and they're going to work throughout the night.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Reesing throws complete, and stepping out of bounds is the freshman Briscoe. Briscoe's got a great upside for Mangino and the Jayhawks. He's a Chiefs fan. You know, speaking of the Big 12 and the Chiefs, somebody who helped one of the great upsets I ever saw is when Texas beat the Nebraska team. Priest Holmes was a running back, and he had to retire again this week, and we wish him nothing but the best. He was one of the great running backs that we watched recently. Briscoe out of bounds on that far side. A reminder now to stay tuned for your late local news immediately following the game over most of these ABC stations, and over on ESPN. SportsCenter will have post-game analysis along with all the scores and highlights of the day. That SEC 4-overtime finish put Tennessee into the SEC title game. Reesing on the move, throws complete, dropping it off that time, Kirk, to the running back, McAnderson.
I want to see, even in hurry-up mode, if we're going to see Todd Reesing continue to get up to the line and then wait till everybody's lined up and then look over for confirmation, because this is unfamiliar territory for this offense to be behind. Right now, they're more of a hurry-up mode.
Incomplete. We go back to the box. And one of the things to remember, Kirk, is what they said, that they want to take everything out of his hands. They call the plays and just clean things up so that he can operate. As you can see, he's looking over the sideline.
Yeah, he's looking to the sideline. Ed Warner, the offensive coordinator, up to the top left. He's the eyes in the sky. He's communicating down to the assistants of what play they want. And this is their normal base offense. There he is looking over. Warner up top, looking down and communicating what play that he wants.
That, what we just saw, let's see, Reesing, back throwing, Meyer reaches up and makes a great grab. Number 10 yanks it down against Justin Garrett.
Boy, Ed Warner, give him a assist from upstairs. He saw the matchup that he wanted. They want to take the game out of the quarterback's hands as far as thinking. They want to put the ball up in the air and find the former quarterback, Kerry Meyer, with the ability to make a catch over the top of the safety.
Remember now, Kansas has scored on his last 2 possessions. And breaking a tackle is Briscoe again, getting close to the 10-yard line. He's going to be a fine wide receiver.
He is going to be nice. Missouri bringing the blitz, the linebackers, the safety, Justin Garrett, Reesing backpedaling and finding his man Briscoe there just in time.
Trying to apply heat. Briscoe throws in zone. Touchdown! 3 consecutive scoring drives. This one to Dexton Fields.
The key there, Brent, is 1 minute and 27 seconds. A good return to set it up by Herford. All they had to do was go 57 yards, and they get on the board, and they get on the board in a hurry.
But now, can they stop Missouri?
Chase Daniel.
Tack on the extra point. Pulls them to within 10. They've got 8:28 to go. So Reesing trying to fire the Jayhawks back in it, but do they have enough time? We'll find out. You might not remember, but a few years ago, Gary Pinkel, as we take a look at the stats here on the 2 quarterbacks, Daniel and Reesing. And there is Pinkel now adjusting what he wants. He wants 2 men back deep.
Yeah, he's got 9 up close, expecting the onside kick with a hands team.
Going to be fielded at the 20-yard line. And we'll see about Chase Daniel. I want to go back to Gary Pinkel. A lot of folks forget that a few years ago, sub 500 season over at Columbia with Missouri, he was under fire, and a lot of it surrounded his assistant coaches. They wanted him to fire the offensive coordinator Dave Christensen, and Pinkel would have none of it. A lot of coaches give in to that kind of media pressure, and it usually leads that they hang on for 1 or 2 more years, and then they say bye-bye. Pinkel remained extremely loyal. The athletic department remained loyal to Pinkel, and now it is starting to pay off. And it says something about patience with football coaches, because we see a lot of big-time jobs starting to open up as Chase Daniels run out of bounds on that far sideline. But Pinkel and his staff have stayed together. They've worked together as a unit. They changed the offense. That's the one thing that they did do. They went to this wide open spread. Chase Daniel was critical, and it'll be interesting to see if they can continue it after he moves on.
Brent, that is such a good point in today's day and age, where fans and media expect a miracle within the first 2 years. 2 coaches tonight are examples of patience by the administration.
Yeah, exactly, Craig. Daniel sliding a reception by Macklin.
Tell you what, Dave Christensen doing a pretty good job tonight as an offensive coordinator. And of course, he has Chase Daniel. This team's up by 10 right now. Pressure coming in on Daniel. He throws that off of his back foot just with his arm, and he throws it right where Macklin can go down and make the catch right behind the linebacker, Mortensen. Here's
There he is upstairs. And now here's Temple, and the clock starts to run. Holt making the stop, and a career night for Denario Alexander.
6'5", 210 pounds out of Marlin, Texas.
Where's Marlin?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I should have asked that, because I have no clue. I would guess it's down the Houston area, but I'm just guessing.
You guessed. Oh, just a gut feel.
Here's the gut. I was cheating. Daniel pulls it down, coming hard over to the right. Complete to Macklin. And that could have been a touchdown-saving tackle by Talib. Because if Macklin had gotten into space that time, it would have been turn out the lights, folks.
Well, this is a heck of a highlight package tonight for Chase Daniel. He's done about everything. And again, I want to reiterate, this team has the lead. They're continuing to attack, and Chase Daniel finds ways to make plays happen. His coach calls it, he has the it factor. And when you hear a coach talk about that, it's the intangibles that make Chase Daniel special.
Oklahoma thinking about stopping it. And Temple bouncing back to the outside. He gets drilled over there by Thornton, who made a nice stop. He's a young man from St. Joseph, Missouri. We've mentioned a lot of kids, Kurt, from Texas on both these teams. It's amazing how many athletes around the Big 12 are from Texas. We'll see more down in Oklahoma.
Yep. Yeah, it reminds me so much when you cover teams in the South and you get to the Southeastern Conference. There's so many Florida players because Florida State and Florida and Miami can only capture so many of those great players. Texas, similar when it comes to creating so many players with such great skill.
Second and 15 now. Time ticking away on this drive. Here comes the blitz. Complete. He puts it back in the hands of Saunders. Saunders has been efficient. One of the other things that Daniel does, Kirk, he really spreads the ball around. We've had all kinds of receivers, and Mangino wants that timeout called now.
That's what makes it so tough to lock in on Chase Daniel, is because it's not like he's just going to throw it to Jeremy Maclin. He will spread it around, and we've seen him do that tonight, whether it's been Rucker, whether it's been his creativity and buying enough time. And when he scrambles, he is scrambling to be able to throw the football downfield. And the backs get involved. They spread you vertically. They spread you horizontally.
Yeah, he was bred to be a big-time quarterback. When he came out of that high-powered Texas program, this time he's going to run it. And it stays in bounds. You can see the official signaling the clock is still running. Mortensen making the stop.
And you cover a lot of sports. And you know, if you're evaluating personnel, you have to go by production and what he is doing. So many times coaches get caught up in, is he 6'2"? Is he 6'4"? Is he 6'5"? In this kind of offense, that's irrelevant. You have to find players who make plays and bring them into your system regardless of how tall they are or how much they weigh.
Here's a 43-yarder for Jeff Wolford. Three minutes and 30 seconds away from a rematch with Oklahoma. One victory away from playing for a national championship. Unbelievable. It bears repeating. Missouri hangs on here. 3:30. And if they win, and it's a big if, Oklahoma will probably be a slight favorite down there in San Antonio. If Missouri can go in and win that game, they will play for the national championship. That much is clear. West Virginia with a big win over Connecticut. They have a game next week against arch rival Pittsburgh. And West Virginia, I would guess, would be a big favorite in that matchup. Now, if you're a Buckeye fan, you're sitting there saying, Boomer Sooner, Boomer Sooner, because they knocked these guys off. Remember, Oklahoma slipped behind the Buckeyes. Then we got the Buckeyes in West Virginia. If I got this thing straight,
I'll give you a crazy scenario. What if Missouri loses to Oklahoma and somehow in the backyard brawl rivalry game, Pitt accidentally beats West Virginia? Ohio State and who?
Oh, we have two lost teams.
Georgia at 10-2.
Well, now, wait a minute. Georgia gets to
Even though they're not.
How about LSU if they win, though? Would you take?
LSU lost.
You jumped off the LSU bandwagon.
Well, I mean, you lose like that. They've been floating with you. You lose late. I would take Georgia over LSU right now.
What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma? I personally think Georgia and Ohio State, if those two slip up. You know, off the record, I want to see Ohio State in Pasadena.
I know the tackle is
shaking there.
Me and you, up in the booth, looking down in the field, USC and Ohio State. Are you kidding me?
And you know, Jim Trussell has never taken the Buckeyes out to Pasadena. He'd love to be out there. Because he wants to win a national championship after getting drilled last year, I'm sure.
Yeah, they just go to the Fiesta Bowl, the national title every year.
Exactly. That's why they don't get out there. Well, how about USC back in the hunt for the Rose Bowl with Oregon without Dixon? And hasn't it been an unbelievable year for quarterbacks? You guys at Game Day should do the quarterback saga of the Pac-10, you know?
Yep.
I mean, it's been unfortunate.
How about Oregon today? They look like a different team without Dennis Dixon. They couldn't do anything without. But it's all about Missouri and Oklahoma. Missouri wins. They're in the national championship against West Virginia.
Second down and 10, and Reesing. McAnderson, the running back, stopping the clock. Still 3 minutes to go here, and they're milking it again, coming right back down the field.
Here we are celebrating a Missouri victory. There's 3 minutes to go. Mark Mangino saying, fellas, we're not done yet. We score here, cover an onside kick. Win this baby 35-34.
I love it. That's good, man.
Reesing. He's in trouble now. He gets a good block. Downfield. Deflected. Incomplete. Kerry Meyer was the intended target. Justin Garrett.
I like what Reesing's trying to do here, and a lot of quarterback coaches are going to say don't throw back against your body back into the field of play because there's so many defenders that can make that play, and he was pretty fortunate that Moore didn't come down with that interception.
Here's your 4th down. Staying alive to the 25-yard line, young Reesing.
Gamer?
He is that.
Todd Reesing's a gamer. He's going to give you everything that he has. He's turned the football over tonight, but he's had a pretty good game throwing the football over 300 yards in that time. Everybody's covered. He takes it, gets downfield.
Deep, end zone, incomplete. And again, it's Garrett, number 8. Make a couple big plays here. Justin's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, one who got away from those fellas down there at LSU.
Was actually going to go to Tennessee, but Missouri ended up having a chance to pick him up. And
he's big.
Great size. He had to step in for Pig Brown with that injury. Garrett and Del Howard have done a pretty good job of manning that strong safety position.
Second down and 10. First down on Meyer. Meyer's at the 15-yard line.
Kerry Meyer, who's for a young guy, last year starting quarterback, this year he gets beat out. He didn't go in the tank. He said, you know what, coach, this is the best move. It's going to give us a chance to win. I'm going to move out to receiver and try to help us out. And he keeps getting better as a wide receiver.
Incomplete. His second down.
This is incomplete, intended for Marcus Henry.
I like the fact that Todd Reesing, with only one timeout, under 2.5 minutes to go, he's now throwing the ball to get it downfield or to get it out of bounds. Clock is the enemy.
Regardless of what happens tonight, that man has done a terrific job with this football program. Mark Mangino. He worked for Bob Stoops down in Oklahoma. Worked for Bill Snyder at Kansas State. Second and 10. Comes in underneath to McAnderson. And he battles for that first down and crosses the 5-yard line. So it'll be first down and goal coming up here with 2:17.
That was huge. That effort by McAnderson and getting across the first down line allowed Kansas to get up. The clock is stopped, gives them a chance to get the play called.
Touchdown. 4 straight. This time, Marcus Henry.
As a colleague of ours says, not so fast, my friend. Here they go, onside kick. Marcus Henry gets a chance to make a play, and by scrambling up into the defense, it brought the defense towards Reesing, And that's what allowed Henry to get free in the back of the end zone.
As another old dear departed friend also said, the Jayhawks are coming, tra-la, tra-la. The Jayhawks are coming, tra-la, tra-la.
Brett, you see when he stepped up, you saw the linebackers and the safeties have to respect the fact that Reeson could scramble, and there's nobody left in the back of the end zone. Puts it high in the air for Henry with the size at 6'4" to go up and make a catch.
Well, the good hands people are out there.
This is it.
Yeah, here comes your onside kick now at 2:03.
You practice this every day in spring practice, summer camp, throughout the season for this kind of moment. Kicker's got a chance to be a hero right here. Put it in the air, give your guys a chance.
To the 30-yard line and the left hash. Webb bounces it. It is fielded. And it is Missouri football with 2:03 to go. And that is Tommy Saunders, a wide receiver. One of the good hands, folks, who covered that up for the Tigers. The Jayhawks have one timeout remaining. And running, Donnie Temple straight ahead.
This isn't the NFL. Play clock starts when all the players get up. Missouri will be taking their time. That's why Mark Mangino's yelling at the officials to get Missouri up. Now let's see Chase Daniel, who's been in hurry-up mode for the entire game. Can he run 25 seconds off the play clock? Is that possible in this offense?
Daniel himself.
Can he use it? Use the last one.
Temple into the middle of that defense, short.
Gotta get up. Gotta get up.
So then here's your fourth down coming up.
See when they start this. Nobody back deep.
Up this time. One final shot. Down at the 9-yard line. Talib, the return man.
To think that this score was 28-7 heading into the fourth quarter, and to now think that the fact that Kansas, I know it's a long shot, the fact that they had worked themselves back to have the ball down by 6 points. It's pretty amazing fourth quarter by the Jayhawks.
In trouble. There's a safety. 36-28. Now all Missouri fans are breathing just a little bit easier.
Let's Striker Sherlock off the edge. What speed he has played with this entire game. Number 38, the right defensive end. Just speed right by Collins. Comes in. Little assistance there from Lorenzo Williams. Chase Daniels feeling it. San Antonio, here we come. The Oklahoma Sooners.
Missouri is headed toward the Big 12 championship game. The Mizzou fans are feeling it, starting to chant, "We're number one." And it'll be a vote between West Virginia and Missouri. So this will be the last snap. Victory formation for Mizzou. The border belongs to the Tigers. Hello, Oklahoma. And for Mark Mangino and the Jayhawks, they'll now go back to Lawrence and await their destination. They'll be headed to a good bowl. Remember, they can still get one of those BCS at-large berths. Sitting there with a record of 11-1, the Kansas Jayhawks, with all these fans who travel, they're going to be very attractive. And a team that is just one win away, and it'll be a tough game against Oklahoma. Missouri could wind up in New Orleans. Let's check in now with Lisa and the winning quarterback.
Chase, with 2 minutes left to go, you look up, it's 28-34. What were you thinking?
They wouldn't die. Kansas never died, and we played our hearts out so today, but we came out to win.
You look very excited when that safety got put up on the board. What were you thinking then?
Just hey, here we go, San Antonio. You know, it's the start of our journey right here. We got a cool couple weeks coming up, so we got to take care of business.
You told me earlier this week that you played some of the best games of your career in cold weather. What's your secret in this cold?
Just don't even think about it. It's just any other game. You know, it was good to come out here. You know, our teammates made plays, our defense made plays, and we finally won. Now,
Kirk and Brett made the point that you got the ball to 9 different receivers. What does that say to you?
We have 9 different receivers that can make plays, and we're all playmakers, and it's a good thing to have.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Missouri heads to San Antonio. Once again, they win the Big 12 North 36-28. Next week at 8 Eastern, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship, Oklahoma and Missouri. For Lisa Salters, Kirk Herbstreit, and our entire ESPN gang, I'm Brett Musburger saying so long from Kansas City.